Yeah, but they also have no respect for the judiciary. Our judiciary has no teeth.
It's funny that you should say that, because my favorite character in the judiciary right now is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who we named Technicality Tanko. Now, the non-lawyers amongst you will probably not understand that label, but let me explain it. When he was put forward by his kinsman Buhari to be the Chief Justice of the Federation, at his swearing-in ceremony, he was asked a question: what can we expect during your term of office, effectively, as Chief Justice? And the questioner explained himself very, very clearly. He said that in the past, we've had cases, court cases, being decided not on the substance of the law or the issues or the arguments, but on legal technicalities. So, for example, a legal technicality will be that you're supposed to give 7 days notice and you only gave 6 days notice. Nothing to do with the merits, the underlying issues. So that technicality rules you out. Our guy, Tanko, he wasn't asked to explain what a legal technicality is, but he proceeded to give us an explanation. He says legal technicality is something that the English introduced into our law. That when something is a technicality, it means that it is technical. At this point, even the lawyers in the assembly, well, you could see them, if they could have covered their faces and say, what the hell are you talking about? And then he proceeded to elaborate more and said that, for example, something like, if I was to fly a plane, that is technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have somebody who could not explain a legal tech. He read Sharia law. That was his pathway to the top. But because that power has been captured, impunity reigns. This is somebody who could not, no respectable law firm could employ him, even as a trainee, on the basis of that explanation. I kid you not. You don't have to be a lawyer. You just have to Google Tanko, swearing-in ceremony, Chief Justice of Nigeria, and you be the judge, and you see how law was shamed on that day.
I can quote the Supreme Court, if you permit me. The Supreme Court said, technicality in the administration of justice shuts out justice, and went further to say that it is therefore better to have a case heard and determined on its merits than to leave the court with the shield of victory obtained on mere technicality. This Supreme Court. So we're very happy with that. But my Lord, just a few weeks ago, the Supreme Court also said, and I quote, "The correct order to make is to declare the judgment of the trial tribunal a nullity as a result of one of the panelists not sitting on a day proceedings were held." And so Nigerians are really worried. Where would this Supreme Court be situated? we would like to know from you, under you, where justice will be, not where justice will be, what we can expect from the Supreme Court under you.
Permit me distinguished President and the Senators to say that what is a technicality? Something which is technical, in my definition, it is something that is not usual, that may sometimes defy all the norms known to a normal thing. It may be technical. Now, we have technicalities in our laws, and this is because these laws that we have inherited, we inherited them from the British. The British people have, for quite centuries ago, introduced what is known as technicalities in their laws. Now, if something is technical, it is in a way given a leeway for double interpretation. It may be interpreted this way by Mr. A, or it may be interpreted this way by Mr. B. Now, if something is technical, comes before the law or before the courts, what we normally do at the trial court is we ask people who are expert in that field to come and testify. We rely on their testimony because they are experts in that field. Ask me anything on aeroplane, I don't know. Ask me to drive an aeroplane, I am sure if you are a passenger and they told you that that flight is going to be driven by Honorable Justice Ibrahim Tanko, I am sure you'll get out of the plane. Because it is something that requires technicality. And if I have any technicality, my technicality will only be limited to law. Therefore, it is something that has to do with the perception of the way you think you'll be able to achieve the goals of what you want to achieve. Several of our laws are dependent on technicalities. But remember, when we come, we have what is known as rules of interpretation. We resort to rules of interpretation. There are several rules of interpretation. Those of us who are lawyers here, no, there are several rules of interpretation. So we resort to that one. And it is through that we resolve the problem that is technically raised. So that is the answer.
No cobré nada, me dieron el dinero del bote.
And so what can you then expect from a legal system that is headed by such a such a jurist that your average lawyer could never employ in their law firm? It is all part of the impunity that is taken hold because the center has been captured and the system is set up on the basis of winner takes all, such that once you have possession, you don't surrender it. And you use elbows and you use kneecaps and everything to hold on to that ball, as opposed to the Union of the Orange, which we're proposing, where you have, if they want a Tanko as their Chief Justice, well, good luck to them. They're welcome to it within their segment of the Orange. But let not the memory of the Chief Justice Elias and other great jurists that were respected worldwide, where we produce some of the most brilliant. We don't manufacture much. That's because they haven't allowed us to have power. But our natural brain power is as good as any that you'll find across the planet. It's just the opportunity for them to perform. And you would only get that opportunity once we can neutralize these negative influences, demonetize the electoral system, the political system, bring it local, bring it closer to the electorate. That is the way forward.
Join the change. From one Nigeria, the unity of the apple, to true federalism in the Union of the Orange.